Hi, everyone, and welcome along to the first Sunday market update of 2022. Who would have believed today? 2022. My gosh, it's flying by. As I said, it's the first one, and we'd like to wish you guys, I hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year for those that do celebrate those things. We hope you have enjoyed it, freshened up, and had a break from trading. And looking at the charts, I've got to say, I think it was probably a pretty good time to have a little bit of a break from the charts, but choppy for mine in the build up to this. Now, we have changed the structure of the show, if you like. Each week, we're going to have 3 to 4 traders come in and talk to you guys for about 4 or 5 minutes each. Instead of having the whole 10 coming, I'm going to try and keep it really short, really sharp, and we'll publicize each week for you who's going to be coming in so that you guys know which week, if you want to catch up with one of these people, you need to do it. I might give you a little bit more on that at the end of the show, but we're going to open up, as we should open up all trading shows, talking fundamentals, and our fundamental expert is Alexis. Alexis, do you have a good break?
Yes, had an excellent break.
Fantastic. And fundamentally, what's going on in the world?
All right, so interesting stuff. I think we are looking at interest rates in the coming couple of months. So there has been talks that this article was out somewhere last week, at the beginning of January, right? There was a dollar hits 5-year high against Japanese yen, and a couple of things happening with the dollar as well. We had a inflation high of almost 7%. You can see here the inflation numbers for the US in 7%. So there are talks that whether the interest rates for the US dollar will finally, start to go up. So on the back of the many talks of that, we had the US speculation of whether or not interest rates will go up. So I think in economics, right, traditionally, if the interest rates go up for a currency, the currency value theoretically tends to move up as well. So what's interesting to mind is it's already 7% inflation rate. There are just many talks of, why, whether or not they will increase interest rates. So they're expecting interest rates to increase, but it still has not happened yet. All right. And if we look at the Forex Future calendar for next week, I think what is going to be interesting is that there are not many speeches coming along for the US, but what we have instead is we have, for example, the unemployment claims coming up, but there's nothing that says anything that's due to interest rates. So I feel that the Fed is currently hyping the market in the sense that, okay, we are going to increase interest rates, but when is still a question mark. So that is my I wouldn't say concern, but my curiosity is when will that actually happen? Because I think inflation at 7%, it really is an all-time high. All right, it's never been this high before. If I do a 25-year chart, you can see on the 25-year chart, the highest they've ever gotten was about almost slightly below 6%, and we've burst through that. We've gone to a high of 7%. If I just stretch the max all the way, you can see the last time it crossed above 7% was almost in the 1980s, right? 1980s was the time where, it's like when everything was we had a lot of, we had the wars, we had the oil crisis, and there was a lot of stuff that happened back then where inflation was high. So I'm wondering whether the US will allow inflation to continue to push upwards, or will they, just increase interest rates and in an attempt to kind of start to compress inflation a little bit. Now, increasing interest rates is not a guarantee that it will push inflation down, but it is one of the tools of the monetary policy to push inflation down. So it is an expectation that there are a lot of talks currently that the interest rate increase, is it priced in or not? So I think if we just scroll through a couple of the dollar pairs, you can see a lot of retracements coming on the last week. So in the Sunday show, in my Sunday fundamentals last week, I did talk about waiting for US dollar pullbacks, right, in an attempt to be ready to kind of buy the dollar. So we had dollar yen putting back last week. You can see almost five straight days of pullback, the entire week of pullback. dollar CAD that have almost completed its pullback. Seems like it's testing. I'm just going to put a couple of horizontal levels, just to show, it's testing off certain levels. We had dollar Swiss having 3 big days of pullback, and then again testing the horizontal levels, and of course dollar Sing, big pullback, testing the horizontal levels, and of course I cannot miss out euro dollar. All right, euro dollar, big pullback. On the other side, it broke through a kind of range, and I'm not sure what it's testing over here, but I think I don't know whether it's done pulling back yet. Okay, it looks like the kind of horizontal level, but it still looks like there's room for a little bit more pullback. But we'll see, because we had a big engulfing bar last Friday, and the question is, is now the time to start going dollar long, right? Because in expectation of the increase of interest rates, and now we're only starting the start of the year, I think it might, there is a good probability of a dollar bull. All right, good probability. So far, a lot of pullbacks in terms of technically, the chart looks like there's a lot of pullbacks. And I think if the Fed actually says, okay, we are going to increase interest rates at some point, and if the interest rates actually does increase, whether they do it secretly or not, but if it suddenly pops up that the Fed has increased interest rates, I'm going to expect a dollar jump somewhere. But in the meantime, I think trade the dollar with a bit of caution. All right, we can go soft longs. By saying soft longs, I mean that we can trade. We can look for. They are all bouncing off at certain key levels right now in expectation of a dollar strength. So I was avoiding the dollar the entire last couple of weeks, but I think it is time to position ourselves to get ready for a couple of dollar longs. So my focus is on the dollar next couple of weeks, in expectation of that the extremely high inflation rate will push the government to doing something, anything, right, to keep inflation from rising. So that's all for me this week. I'm finally looking at the dollar for trading in the start of 2022.
Cheers, Alexis. Great piece. Going to be interesting to see whether interest rate rises and currency values stay as closely tied as they have historically, with a number of different interest rates likely to go up throughout the world this year. Well, hopefully going to go up throughout. Hopefully we're going to see interest rates rise everywhere as the world gets to be a better place. Interesting to see how this plays out, like the dollar long. I think there's still plenty of time for that if you can find the right entry. Well done, Alexi. Thank you very much. Next up, we are going to have Ash Bill come in, first time for the year, and talk to us about data. Hey, Ash, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, mate. Very good.
Good, mate. You get a break?
I did, yeah, and I had a really good break this year. Not so much from staying up to date with things. I didn't step back completely. I was still trading. I changed my style over Christmas because I didn't want to be in front of the charts quite as much. So I sort of switched to a kind of a trade and hold kind of scenario. But yeah. But generally speaking, yeah, I did take a nice long break.
Nice, mate. Nice. Funny, I did the same thing. I looked at charts a lot, but I didn't really engage with them in the same way. I don't know how else to explain it. I knew what was going on, but I didn't really give it all too much thought at the time. Mate, data, what's the news for this week? What is the data at the start of the year? What looks like might be the play? Well,
interesting that Lexi's talking about the COT data and the dollar, and I think it's prudent to probably stay on the dollar and see what might be interesting to trade against the dollar, because actually when we look down at the COT data here, you can see 1%, 1%, 1% for the commercial traders, and they're effectively suggesting that the interest rates that have been announced or the presumed potential interest rate hikes may not be quite as aggressive as the Fed would like to go. So they might be sort of saying, okay, yeah, we're going to get an interest rate hike, but we might not get quite as an aggressive hike as has been announced, i.e. we may not get 4, we might get 3, might even get 2. So they are telling us that the dollar may well be a little bit overvalued at this particular point. When we come down to see where the buyers and sellers are here, then what we are getting is a situation where the selling pressure has really, really jumped to the upside, where the buying pressure has just stayed stagnant for quite some time. Really, from probably this period here, when the dollar hit this particular point here, the buyers haven't really started to push the dollar higher. So now the sellers started. Then the sellers started to push in as the dollar increased. So they're almost assuming that the dollar may not rally in the way that that many of the market participants are anticipating that would happen. If we look at the seasonal aspect of this as well, then the seasonals are really kind of saying, well, there may well be a rally coming, but that rally's not probably going to come until February. So we could be looking at a couple of weeks before we start to see the dollar really start to take to the upside. Now, what I've been looking at as well is what could be traded against the dollar here. And I really like silver. I really like the case for silver. You know, I've been looking at precious metals. If the dollar doesn't, you know, if traders and investors decide that the interest rate hikes won't be as aggressive, then bond yields won't be pushing so far to the upside. And it's the bond yield that affects things like gold and silver. You know, when we see a bond yield pushing higher, it really suppresses the price in gold and silver. Now, that may not be the case if we start to see the dollar come down. Maybe those bond yields come down a little bit. Inflation still being a bit of a problem. Remember, they've got a very heavy balancing act to try and control inflation while not choking the economy. So go too fast to go too high too fast is a dangerous play. So there might be just a little bit more anticipation of a softer dollar increase, softer yield increase, and that may well play into the hands of silver. 75% in the most recent week, 6 months, 81% in 18 months, and 62% in the 36 months. And when we come down to what the buyers and sellers have been doing, then what we really see here is just a little dip down in the selling pressure and just a little tick up in the buying pressure. It's not going to be very aggressive ever in the buying pressure, but you can see just a little tick up, and then bringing in the seasonalities as well, the seasonal charts as well for silver. What we've got is a chart here that we're going to get the chart here. Let's bring that off here and see if I can get the seasonals up. There they go. Seasonals are suggesting January through to around about the end of February, we get this rally. So that would help us certainly, you know, going into the next couple of weeks, going into the end of January, going into February. Dollar suggested to be weak. COT data suggesting it to be weak. Silver's picking up with the COT. The seasonality suggests that we're going to get a rally right up until around about the start of March, end of Feb. That plays into it. So I really like that play. So silver is a buy for me at this particular point.
Geez, I do like it when we see some different ideas. You know, it's one of the things with traders. We're not supposed to be on everything what we should be doing. And part of it is looking at it and getting some different perspectives. So nice today. We're going to have, we've had Alexis and Ash, and we're going to have Lloyd come in a few moments. And thank you very much, Ash. Much appreciated. But this is the new format. We're going to have 3 traders in today. I'll take you who's going to be here for the next few weeks at the end after Lloyd. Lloyd comes up and does currency strength index for us. Lloyd, did you have a break?
Hi, evening everybody, or afternoon everybody. Yeah, actually, this will be my busiest year-end break that I ever experienced for the past 8 years, I think. Yeah, because I'm also at the same time preparing for some of my sister stuff, business side of things. Yeah, but it's a good break away from trading. Yeah, so that it actually clears some my space. Yeah, for new ideas.
Cheers, mate. Over to you.
All right, so let me grab the screens. Okay, same old stuff. Let's go through the currency indexes. Now, because I actually analyzed the currency indexes from a weekly point of view, I would say actually nothing really changed much for me. I mean, I just revised some levels, but let's go through some of them and see what is happening. So the first on my list is actually dollar index. Now, I think since about a couple of months back, I've been expecting dollar strength, and dollar is indeed still strengthening. I mean, in terms of trend trading concept, you can see beautiful high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, high, and this will be our high low. Yeah, so the DXY has been behaving quite beautifully for the past, I think, 2-3 months, as can be seen from the weekly bars. So price has now actually retraced back to $95. Very, very nice point for a bounce off. Yeah. So on saying that, I think the DXY is the most bullish pair I have among all the other currency indexes. Now, possibly also maybe in the bullish side, but in fact, I'm actually quite skeptical about it. It's actually the British pound. Yeah, what happens is that now, from a trend trading point of view, this is an absolute downtrend. low, high, low, low, which is complete opposite of the DXY. But what we can see here is that it seems that price has been on a bullish run for the past few weeks, and it has broke above a very nice trend line. Yeah. So what I'm looking for is if there's any possibility of actually entering long for British pound, this might be it. Yeah, a safe place to enter per se. Yeah, I don't see any huge horizontal level that's in the way until 140. Yeah, but this is a much, I would say, a speculative view from my side. Yeah, a confirmed view will still be a DXY. Now the Swiss index, overall, I would still say it's downtrend, but really for the past 2 months, it's caught in a range. Yeah, nothing much to say about this. I don't really particularly like range trading. Canadian index, I have no idea what's happening to oil, but to me, this is looking very, very rangy. Yeah, but potential for shorts because since price is just hitting $80, and even from the past, you can see that price wherever it interacts with this level, all the way back to 2016, it does get whacked back down. Yeah, so potential for shorts in the Canadian index. Now, Euro index, this is a very, very nice downtrend. Price broke, retest, and I'm expecting short positions to actually power up in a week ahead. Yeah, you can see that this particular horizontal level has been beautifully respected in the past. Yeah, so all I'm pending for is just a nice position on the 4-hour side together with any other pair that we can actually enter short. Now, I should actually position JXY above EXY. So my bet. Yeah, but overall, the Japanese yen, I would still say is downtrend, taken with a pinch of salt. Why? Because it's not a beautiful downtrend. It's really price falls, range, falls, consolidate. Now, what happens now is that price indeed break out the range. Now it's retesting. Let me get rid of the box so you can see more clearly. Yeah, so I'm expecting short to come out ahead, but pending Monday position. Yeah, so if there's any of the Japanese yen pair and it gives us beautiful short setup, I can possibly be taking it. Now, of all the potential shorts, I think the commodities pairs, the Kiwis and the Aussies seems to stand out the most to me. Now, previously, Kiwi against ranging position, price broke out a very nice retest of this level. Yeah, no doubt price has been retesting this for the past 1 month. Yeah, but this is like a very sure price action to me that we are about to go short. Yeah, so keep a look out for that. And the last will be the Australian index, AXY. So against overall seems short to me, and against price broke, retested very nicely with a price action. Yeah, so pending how the Monday markets opened, we can actually expect some good position ahead. Now, on saying that, as usual, Aussie dollar, this would be trading the strong against the weak. Aussie dollar will be what I'm looking out for. So I'm waiting for price to actually break the trend line and this very nice looking horizontal level. Similar setup, break and retest, and I will go short. The next pair will be pound Kiwi. It's pretty nice looking, in fact. Very nice uptrend. So either I'll wait for price to actually pull back to the trend line, or it may just whack up, break, retest, and I'll be happy to go in. Yeah, so these are the two pairs I'll be looking out for the week ahead. That's all for me.
Cheers, Lloyd. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Been a great show. Look, we want to keep it like this each week. We're going to be short, sharp, in and out, 15 to 20 minutes every week. We're going to have 3 or 4 of this team come in, and we're going to have them talk on their specialist series. And if you want to catch them, we'll let you know who's going to be on Wednesday. You can make sure you turn up for the shows for the people you want to see. So just so you know, next Sunday is the 23rd. We will have Julian doing macro markets, Orlando doing US dollar, Chloe and Link are doing trend trading. On the 30th, we will have Ash back doing the FTSE this time, not data. George doing price action and money management, Geoff doing technical analysis, and on February 6th, we will have Ainslie doing gold and oil, Gordon doing stocks, and Dominic doing psychology. And then we'll review the format, see if we like it or not. If we do like it, we will repeat the entire thing, I would imagine. So that's the plan for TTR going forward, the Sunday market analysis show. As we get more into it, we do a few more experiences of this, we will we'll become a little, we'll who's going to be there. I want to try it for a month before I commit to it. Once we commit to it, we'll put out some schedules well in advance so you guys can see the people you want to see. Really do hope you've had a good break. Really do hope that you are well refreshed. We have got some exciting stuff coming up if you're in the in Actions to Wealth client. We'll be briefing you guys on that in the next week or so. Do keep the 13th of February, the Saturday after Chinese 12th. I think it is after Chinese New Year. Keep it free. We do have a pretty good event going in there. You guys will love it, and it will be free. So keep the date free and be excited because there's some cool stuff coming. In the meantime, remember this week, as every week, stay calm and make good decisions. And if you do that, it'll work out for you. It's as simple as that, really, trading. Stay calm and make good decisions. There's plenty of good stuff going on. This market may well take off and get a direction for us. This US dollar direction will drive everything. Be interesting to see how that goes in this couple of weeks, whether we do see some buying come into it or whether we do see it sell off. It'll be really interesting to see. Probably reasonable cases for both of them at this point. So we will watch that with real interest. And when we have an opinion on it, we probably have our direction for the next month or two. Thanks for joining us. It's been wonderful to have you on board. We will see you back next Sunday with Julian on macro markets, Orlando on the US dollar, Chloe and Linky joining during trend trading. Likely next Sunday I will be away. I've got a family thing. Maybe Geoff or one of the team will come in and host it for you guys. Have a good week. See you.